sponsored by the Pennsylvania Credit Union Foundation, the Westmoreland Community Federal Credit Union, the Norwin Teachers Federal Credit Union, and the Lesko Federal Credit Union, the Financial Reality Fair was held at Westmoreland Community College in Youngwood, Pennsylvania, with over 200 students from Norwin, Penn Trafford, Greater Latrobe, and Yough High Schools. The Financial Reality Fair is a hands-on experience in which students, after identifying their career choice and starting salaries, are provided a budget sheet requiring them to live within their monthly salary while paying for basics such as housing, utilities, transportation, clothing, and food, and some luxury items like nightlife and spa treatments. Prior to arriving to the Reality Fair, students completed a research survey that helped them identify a career, their degree, school loans, and salary ranges. They were then given a monthly budget worksheet that identified monthly salary, pre-taxes, for federal and state income tax, Social Security and Medicare tax, health insurance premiums, and employer retirement plan deductions. Informed of the day ahead, students were required to manage their money while visiting the 14 booths, which represent the fundamentals of living on their own, as well as some luxuries. At the housing booth, students are required to choose from unfurnished apartments, furnished apartments, buying a home, or living at home with their parents, each with their advantages and disadvantages. If an unfurnished apartment was chosen, students were required to visit the furniture booth. There they were required to have, at the very least, a bed frame and a mattress. The food booth gave students an understanding of how much groceries would cost per month and if they could afford to go out to eat, and if so, how often. Transportation was another required booth in which students had to decide if they were going to buy a new car, a used car, or use public transportation if it was available. If students could afford the monthly payments on a new or used car, they were required to visit the insurance booth and purchase insurance for their vehicle, adding additional costs that most had not thought about previously. Another booth students could visit was the optional part-time employment booth. If they needed to, students could choose a part-time job to supplement their income, helping them to purchase necessities or allot some extra money to luxury items. The nightlife and hair, nails, and spa booths represent some of the luxury spending that students could partake in. While there, they could choose how often, if their funds allowed, they wanted to enjoy the benefits of getting their hair and nails done, going to the spa, or spending a night on the town. At the optional cable and internet booth, students could choose between several different cable packages, from basic to expanded cable. They could also choose anywhere between not having the internet to high-speed cable internet. After visiting all the booths at the fair, they were asked to spin the Wheel of Reality, giving them an example of the twists and turns in life. The wheel contains several life scenarios, like selling your books and receiving $250, or car repairs in which you would have to spend $300. Once their trip through the fair was completed, students had to take their budget sheet to a financial counselor. They then helped students calculate their spending from each booth, take an additional 5% of the initial take-home pay for savings, and determine what their final monthly spending would be. If their budget sheets indicated that they were in the black, students finalized their budget sheets. If they were in the red, students were informed of what areas were using the most funds and were asked to cut those items down or out. Here are some thoughts from both students and teachers on what the fair taught them and how it helped them plan ahead for the future.
This project-oriented type environment is what any district is looking for, and with the involvement from the community, it's an A+ job. The students today were laughing, having a good time, and realizing this is the career I'm looking for, these are the expenses we're going to incur, can I make life happen? And obviously with the state of the economy, this is what the students need.
I got from the fair that as much as I thought I wanted to graduate from high school and move on to college, now it's all kind of, it's definitely a reality check, and it just makes me want to work really hard at what I do so that I can make enough money to be able to pay my bills and have some money on the side too. And I just learned that growing up is not going to be easy, I guess you could say.
I thought it was wonderful because I can stand in front of a classroom and tell kids that it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you need to have budgeting skills and financial skills, and I can teach them about those subjects, but this makes it tangible, and they can actually see on paper, okay, this is the career that I've chosen, and this is what I have to spend. And the feedback that I've gotten is a lot of kids are like, you know what, I wanted a nice apartment, or I wanted the top-end car, and I didn't have enough money at the end. And I'm like, yeah, you have to make sacrifices. That's what financial planning and budgeting is all about. So I think it's a really good, tangible eye-opener for them.
It's made it a lot easier to understand on what I'm actually going to go through and how much it's going to take to do everything I have to do, and I'll know on a roundabout if that's the money I make, that's what I'll be able to do with it. And
came here today with two different classes. Our personal finance class, which is called Money Matters, and the marketing applications class. And we chose those because the Norwood Teachers Federal Credit Union is planning on opening up a branch in our high school. So we have students from the Money Matters class that will help with the day-to-day operation of everything, and then with the marketing class, they need to understand what the credit union does, what it stands for, because they're going to do some advertising and promoting and hopefully some recruiting after today of why something like that is so important, what it can help you with. But so far, one of the comments I got was, now I know why my dad wants me to go to college. And this is from someone who probably was not into going. So I've heard nothing but positive. I think, I saw one boy went for the BMW, but another went for the Chevy Cobalt because he felt that something else was important to him. So I personally, the other teacher, Doug Aptianis from Norwood, and I were talking on the way out, and we felt this should be a class that's required for every student before they graduate.
Well, I learned that you can't always buy the most expensive thing, and what always is the most fun, you can't necessarily afford it.
I believe that this fair truly was a check of reality. Many students realized that the professions they chose would never support the income that they expected to have, and their bills exceeded the amount they earned per month. So I think in that respect, it truly did hit its purpose.
Throughout the fair, students discovered what managing their income in the real world was like, balancing their wants versus their needs, and whether or not their chosen career would allow them to live the life they really sought for themselves.